5, 6, 7, and then 13, 14, 15.
Right. Okay, let's look at 1. So what you're given here in question 1A, and basically the others are the same, so I'm not quite sure what's happening here, but we should check it out. It could be just rounding up.
The key's on. I don't know if you're meaning to do that.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to get the right answer in a few seconds anyway, so you'll see what it would be.
Okay, yeah.
So the Z score, it's more important that you know how to do it. Getting the answer is something that you can do in your own time, but how to do it is what I'm really focusing on. So we're looking at a Z score of 2.4. And the null hypothesis is P equal to 0.1, and the alternate hypothesis is P not equal to 0.1. So that's pretty much all I need. So when you hit salt, you come over here, and the one that you want to make sure you're picking is inferential statistics. And you want to make sure that you're picking one sample proportion. And I've just, let me see if I hit that right. Yes, and oh, I can't do it that way. My apologies.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if is that the right
No,
way.
I can't do it that way.
I was like, okay.
Okay, I'm not. All right, there we go. We do it as a distribution calculation. Okay, so it's normal. Because you're telling me the Z score, I'm going to use this. If the question had been 42 out of 90 people like something, then I would have done inferential.
Yeah, those questions I got fine. Most of the questions that I weren't able to get are of the same nature.
Okay, so here's the Z score, 2.4. Now, when I go down here, I'm looking at a not equals to. Do you see the alternate is a not equals to? So what that tells me is I want over here, both tails. And then when you go down to where the Z score is down here, when it's a 2 tail, you put in the number, the negative version of it.
Wait, how did you, sorry. How did you get the 2 tails?
Because it said not equal to. If it said less than, it'd be a left tail test. If it said more than, it would be a right tail test. So it's a not equal to, which is a 2 tail test. So you use both tails. So that's how you tell. The alternate hypothesis, right? These guys at the end, they tell you which type of test you're dealing with.
Do you put in the 2.4 in that first like lower box with the P?
You do. So you put it down here and you put it here. Now.
Wait, how did you get, did you put the Z1 there or did the Z1 just appear?
I don't know what you mean by Z1.
Down at the bottom.
I put in a net. See the I don't know what they're called. The tiny. See the thing they're calling Z1 and Z2. It's actually the negative of this and the positive of this. So I put in negative 2.4 and 2.4, and it repeats itself up here. So you see the same thing twice.
And is the answer that little?
Yeah, and that's right, that number that goes there. Right. Let's take a less than. See this one here that says less than.
Okay.
Right. Well, since it's less than. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing a left tail test. Left tailed, right? Less than. Things to the left are less than. And in this case, you only need to put in one number. And the number is negative 1.05. And there's your guy.
The P's don't matter then, besides what HA is.
Your voice is disappearing a little bit. So what were you saying again?
Oh, sorry. So those numbers that are like the null and the hypothesis, the numbers themselves don't really matter. It's the Z statistic and then the symbol in between the two numbers for the H hypothesis.
Right. So the two guys that you need to use are the Z score.
Yeah.
And
then a little symbol.
This little guy here to decide is a left, a right, or a 2-tailed.
Okay.
And that's pretty much how you would do that one. You feel comfortable about those question ones?
Yeah, I think that I'll be able to do that now. And then the next one I think is 5.
Okay, so here we go. Now, in this question, there isn't any any salt, but what we're being asked here is to calculate the Z statistic and put it in here. And they've gave us all sorts of information, right? They've told us this, they've told us that, they've told us this, they've told us that. I mean, we've got probably more than we need, but nonetheless, we are going to get the Z score. This question, I'm going to have to go on the white screen because I'm not using salt to do it. I'm going to do it as a calculation.
Okay.
So, for instance, in question 5.
Do you usually do that in salt or by hand?
You do it the way they ask you. If they don't give you a salt button, you have to do it by hand, essentially. Mm. I wouldn't want to do this with salt. I guess I could do it with salt, to be honest, but I'm choosing to do it the way they want you to do it. So 5A, you are told that the sample size is 30. You're told that p hat is 0.55. You're told that the null hypothesis is that the population proportion was 0.5. And you've been told that the alternate to it is that the thing is not 0.5. And so our job is to find out what Z score would correspond with this information. Now I know.
Say? Sorry, what is it? Does that say and Z?
It says find.
Okay, sorry.
So you find Z score. Now there are many different versions of the formula Z score. The one we're going to use this time is going to be p hat take away p naught over the standard error of p naught.
Okay, how do you find the PO? Because I don't know how to.
P naught is what we call that guy there.
Okay.
It's the guy that was also called in an earlier question, the null value, I think was what they used.
So, okay, that makes sense because the P and the, okay. Okay, so that would be 0.55 minus 0.5.
Right. Now, the standard error is going to be the square root of P naught, 1 minus P naught over N. It's going to be the square root of 0.5, 1 minus 0.5, which is also 0.5, and divided by 30. So if I go to my calculator, I should be able to get a value for that. So we go square root of 0.5 times 0.5 divided by 30. And the answer I get is about 0.09129. I'm being more accurate than I need. And they only want it to 2 decimal places, but if you do a few extra, you're just going to be safe, right?
Yeah, so, no, I think I said in class one time that it affects it.
Enough to, it makes you think that you're wrong when you're darn close to being right. So I kind of wrote my guy in the wrong place, but he goes here, right? That's where he belongs. So I should be able to do the calculation now. If everything works out correctly, it should be 0.55. So what should it be? Well, interesting.
I think so. Do you want me to?
No, I've got it. 0.55, take away 0.5, divided by 0.09129, and the answer is.
Was it 0.09 or 0.9? Okay, yeah, so it was.
It was 0.09, and that is, in fact, the correct answer.
Okay.
So if you want to,
zero.
Say again.
I missed the 0, but I found
okay.
Where okay. I didn't have that Z-score formula. That's why.
Right.
I didn't know what PO was.
Okay, but now you.
But now, sorry, I was looking at the videos because I was trying to figure out how to do it, and I don't know. I think my brain was just not figuring out how to do it. But this makes more sense. I don't know.
Okay.
My notes are all over the place. because I ran out of paper in my stat notebook, so I've just kind of been using scratch paper, so it's not organized anymore.
Yeah, that probably doesn't help. Now,
I take too many notes.
Would 5B then seem reasonable now? Would you go through it the same way?
What?
Question 5. Yeah.
5B.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't see it, but if it's the same thing, then I'm sure I can figure it out.
Right. Well, I think we'll return now because the next question might be. Yeah, when I pause like that, it's just when I start coughing, I end up coughing for quite a few times, and I try to avoid it because it hurts my chest now. I've been coughing for so many days that it hurts when I cough.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. It's what it is. Okay, so there's the question 5B. Do you see it's very similar, just different numbers?
Yeah.
Now, is the next one question 6?
Yes.
Now, if you look at question 6, it's actually a carbon copy question 5. It's the same type information, and you've been asked to do the Z-score. Do you want me to do? Question 7 is another. It is not the same. The question 5 and 6 are the same. Do you want me to do one of those?
No, if it's the same thing, then I'll figure it out.
Okay. Now, question 7 is different. Do you notice question 7 has a salt button?
Yes, I do.
That means we are now going to do salt, and it's not the Z-score that they want. They want us to find the p-value. So we have a whole load of information here, right? And we are going to find the p-value. Right? So what do we know? Excuse me. Well, we know the sample size is 100. We know p hat is that. We know z is this. We know the null. We know the alternative. We know everything that you would expect to get from a hypothesis test. So I am now going to go inferential statistics, and I'm going to go one sample proportion. Now, they're a bit nasty or sneaky, whatever you want to call it. The information that they gave me was that there was 100 people in sample and 36% of them. If you find 36% of 100, that makes this 36 out of 100.
Okay.
So that p hat is 36 out of 100. If we now do
0.25 at the bottom.
Yep. And
then it's
greater than, right?
Greater than, yeah.
And when I hit generate results, do you see the 0055 thing?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Now you might say, what about the Z-score? I don't care, I didn't need it. They could have just omitted that and I still would have done exactly the same thing and still have got the exact same answer. So in a way, knowing the Z-score is a distraction. You don't actually use it anywhere, it's just in the road.
Okay. I don't know, I felt like I did plug in those numbers correctly, and then the Z statistic or the p-value that was calculated was still wrong. So maybe I was plugging them in wrong.
It might have been that when you were typing the numbers that go here and here, they were not correct. Give you an example. See this one here that says 58 out of 200? If you just thought, oh, 58% means 58 out of 100, that would not be correct, right? 58%, right? Now, I'll just generate the results to show you that it's not, well, it's a whole load of zeros, so it might actually be that by accident. You see it's got a 1 in it, right? Not big difference. Okay. But what you need to do is find 58 of 200. So what does that become? That becomes 116 out of 200. So when they tell you p hat is 30%, you have to find 30% of the sample size so you can put in the number there out of the other. Because the information for p hat has to be written essentially as a fraction. Something out of something. Something out of the sample size. Not 0.12 or 0.55.
Yeah.
And if I generate that, I should get something that's done close to zero.
Yeah, I think I was just doing something weird. I don't know.
Okay. So that's question 7 now.
Okay, yes. So then the next one will be 13, part C. Or wait, did I mess up on 9D? What did I do?
I don't know. Yeah, you got.
I just didn't round it off.
You didn't round it off to 4 decimal places.
I'll make sure to do that.
That's an easy fix. So that wasn't a major issue. We're saying next question, right? Okay, this one.
Yes.
Whoa, that is darn.
It's the p-value.
I believe that WebAssign is wrong in this question. So I'm just going to check that out right now.
Yeah, you know, I think, I don't know.
Right, here we go. It's the only one that I've found so far that doesn't work. Everything else I've done today, right, has worked. Yeah, we got the same numbers. Now,
this
it's
one
8
really
out of 13.
frustrated me. I was like, what is the problem?
Well, I don't know if there is a problem. I think the problem is them, not you. Right? So I'm going to do a greater than. So are you happy? 8 out of 13?
Yeah.
Right. 0.2, yep, greater than. You know that's correct, right? I've told you, and this bit just makes sense. So if we generate the results, they say it's 3 zeros and a 1, and you say it's 2 zeros and a 1 too. And there we go. That number there is in fact what you got. But it's not what they got. Yeah. So you are correct.
I'm correct. WebAssign's wrong.
Yeah, occasionally they do that.
I win the lottery.
Well, I don't know if you get a lottery, but you found a question that doesn't work with them. I guess that's bound to happen from time to time.
Wait, what was it again?
The answer they're looking for, if you round it off, let's find that question again, is 0.0012. So 0.0012. If you type that one in, you can get your points because you should have got them. I know it's not the right answer, but to make them give you the points.
I guess we'll satisfy the broken homework question.
Right. Okay, everything else came out good.
14A is another p-value question.
Okay, now what story do we have in this one? I think this might be the same issue here. And the only thing I can see that might be the problem is it's talking about computer software or a statistics calculator. And maybe when you use calculators or some other software, the way they do the accuracy might be different from the way they do it in WebAssign. And that might be causing answers. So let's do this one and see what the right answer is, because you could be correct again.
That one's not as close, but yeah.
Okay, so what have we got? 22 out of 50.
Yeah.
So I'll put in 22 out of 50. And what else do we know? Do we have, greater than 0.25. Okay. Yep. So generate results. I have 3 zeros and a 9, which becomes 10. I got what you got, not what they got. So will you put in?
I'm not crazy.
0026. So the last two.
I was like, what am I doing wrong?
And you're not. The only thing that makes those two questions sound different is this intro. And we're not using computer software or statistical calculator because that may well.
I had another classmate. Also, I was talking to them and I was like, hey, does anyone know how to do 13C, 14A, or 15C? And a couple people were like, yeah, those specific values are just like not working. Like, I don't know what I did wrong. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And they were, so I'm not the only one that was having that problem. So I think it's just because I think it's, something's weird with those questions.
Right. Share the wealth with the others.
Yes, I will let them know to check out this video and figure it out.
Okay. Of course, since their numbers are going to be none of these are red, so that's a good sign. That means they'll get the same numbers, so they don't need to worry about their particular question.
Yeah, I'll let them know, especially.
Okay. Right. So when if we are finished, I don't know if we are yet, but when we're finished,
not quite, but
I'll
very
put a video on, and you can tell them to go and watch it. Okay. So
sounds good.
Where are we up to now?
Come on, guys. Huh?
Where do we go now?
Oh, 15C. Yes, Z.
Which number?
15C.
Ooh, that's a big difference or something. So we have got 56 out of 100. Okay, I'm putting in 56. I wonder if it's, oh, they didn't mention that thing at the top, which is a bit strange. So I would expect that to be different. Right, 56 out of 100, got that. We're looking at a 0.5. And we're looking at a greater than. Yep. So generate results. And there you go. The Z statistic is 1.2. I don't know where that guy came from, but the Z statistic is 1.2.
Okay, so it's just the Z statistic. Maybe I inputted the numbers wrong.
Good, Tom. It's hard to say.
I don't know. I was really tired, so I could have been just pressing the wrong buttons. Because I've actually done it before where I've done a problem and it was one of those problems where you have to do a few things first and then figure out a number to use it later. And I did the whole thing and then I realized I messed up because when I wrote down the original problem, I switched out one of the numbers. I wrote a 4 instead of a 6 or an 8 instead of a 6 or something like that. And it just threw off the whole problem and I was so confused. And then when I realized, I was so mad because I had spent near an hour trying to figure it out.
Okay. It looks like we got another person. So have you any more questions, Isabel?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Okay. Hi, Christy.
Hi.
Okay. Excuse me. What's your question? What you want to go over?
Actually, on the last, I think the 2 questions before number 15, the Z-score.
Oh, we have just completed doing those 2 guys, and
there's a weird glitch.
There's some weird glitch. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. The answer you got probably correct, but WebAssign has decided that it's some other number. I don't know why. The only thing I can say that they have is that the questions that don't work has a little bit at the beginning about using computer software. So maybe if you use some computer software, it would do the calculations to a lot more accuracy, and therefore that might cause a discrepancy. And that's the only kind of excuse I can have for it.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna head out.
Okay, bye-bye, Isabel.
Bye, thank you.
Christy, I think the best thing I can do for you is if we go back and look at what your version of that question would look like. I can tell you what you'll need to type in to get the points. And we can check that the numbers that you got, you were doing them correctly. Okay? So you need to find, you in my 12 o'clock class?
Yes.
Okay. HIKL. There you are. And God, is it 13 and 14, I think, isn't it?
What?
Questions 13 and 14.
Yeah. I haven't done number 15 because I figured I should probably get help.
15 is actually okay. 15 has no problems. The answer, if you do it correctly, you will get the right answer. But we can, actually I've done 15. So if you go back and watch the end of this video, you'll be able to, you can see that. So let's get 14. This is your version of 14, right? And that's the number that you got. The number that they were wanting is 0.0287. So you want to type that in and check that it's accepting that as the right answer.
Okay, I'll have to log into WebAssign and everything.
That's fine. I can wait if it's possible for you to do that.
Yeah. Just one sec. Sorry, it might take a little bit to load.
That's
Website.
right.
Slow
Right,
on.
while you're waiting for it to load, let's check its answers. So the story was 19 out of 50. So I went here and I'm going to put in 19 out of 50, just pretty sure what you did, I hope. And in this story, it's 0.25. And the alternate is greater than. So when I do generate results, there's the 168 that you got. Do you see it? So you did it correctly.
Okay.
But that's the answer for some reason it thinks it should be.
Weird.
Yes.
Okay. So almost there. Just gotta get down.
But I'm going to do a check on this. Oh, you haven't done that's question 14, by the way. I just gave you the answer to.
Okay.
So 14 is 0.0287.
Oh, not 13?
No,
Okay.
the answer I gave you, 0.0287, was for question 14, although question 13 has the same problem. It doesn't give the correct answer. So if you get 0.0287.
Yes, that's the correct answer.
Okay, now let's get your other one and check that you did it correctly. In the other story, yeah, 0.2, bigger than, great. It was 19 out of 50, let's check. Make sure I'm using the correct numbers. It was 10 out of 17. Okay, I'm glad I checked. 10 out of 17. And when we generated the results, we get a 0. Let's check my answers are correct.
I think I changed my answer the second time because
So it may have been that the first time.
Yeah.
The one that you do want is going to be 0.1, 2, 3 zeros and a 5. So you want to type that one in for question 13.
Okay. And all right, I think, yep, that was the right answer.
Right. So you didn't do anything wrong with those two questions. It's just WebAssign being weird.
Okay.
Right now, you didn't do 15 because you thought after 13 and 14 you might have been doing something wrong, right?
Yeah.
15 is okay. WebAssign does exactly what you should have done, and if you got the right, if you do it correctly, you'll get the right answer.
Okay,
so
awesome.
There isn't any hiccups there.
Good. Oh, thank you for going over it again with me.
Not a problem. Is that us?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Right. I'm going to have this video with some other questions that one of the other students had, and I'll be putting that online in a couple of hours probably. It takes that long to process. So you can have a look at some earlier questions if you're having trouble with those as well.
Okay, yeah, I might do that.
Okay then, bye-bye. I will see you
Bye,
on
thank
Monday.
you again.
No problem. Bye-bye.